you so much for sharing the link while we are live. Your support means so much. I'll be on camera in just a second while I test the live stream. Thank you for sharing. Automatic Beat says, good morning, miners. The Deadwood says, y'all got a great guy in DeSantis, referring to Kevin Hawthorne's comment about being from Lakeland, Florida. Good morning, Kevin. Always great to see you over here with the Mining Rigs community. The Deadwood, thank you for the support. Automatic Beats, all the regulars who are here, thank you so much. Your support is so appreciated. As you know, this is it can be a challenge getting to regular publishing. Patricio Marquez is in the chat as well, saying, good morning. It says, morning, I turned my rigs off till the GG hashing levels out. Yep, it's a sad day for miners. Sad time for miners, but sometimes you got to do some sad things. And it looks like we are live. We do not have our latest our latest headlines actually updated, so we're going to kill that right now, and we're just going to leave our regular main screen to chat face-to-face. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for being here, supportive of the Mind Your Biz live stream. My name is Seth. You're watching Mind Your Biz. Today, we're going to go over the 360-degree view of the markets, including mining, what's profitable, what we've been holding in our paper portfolio. I do not publish my holdings. I think it's a huge mistake to do so. Crypto being what it is, doxing yourself in any possible way it's a liability. It's a risk. We do not know what the regulatory environment will be like 6 months from now, 18 months from now. Something that may be considered okay today, totally legally okay today, could change with the stroke of a pen. And we saw that with services like Tornado Cash and others, right? So sanctions just happen and laws just change, and we kind of have to deal with it. So that means we have to plan ahead. That's why I do not publish any of my holdings, and I likely never will. I sincerely hope that there's no law regulating the publishing of influencer holdings or social media publisher holdings. Feels weird to use the influencer term. I don't know that I've influenced anybody. I sincerely hope if I have, I've been a good influence. So I don't know. That said, let's jump straight into the content. First, though, speaking of the rules of the game, right, and the way things they're played, I got to give the red screen. This is not legal financial business advice. You knew that. That's why I clicked over to this video. All right. Take a look at the Fear and Greed Index. Current score of 26. Not too much of a shock, right? So current score of 26. Fear, not extreme fear. We've been living in extreme fear for quite some time. People are starting to feel a little bit better. Why is that? Well, my thesis is always that people their emotions tend to follow price. It's not necessarily the other way around. Can be a downward spiral, and it can be an upward spiral as well, where people start to build on the good feelings of the market. So they start to feel bullish and they buy the price up. We see the volume go up. If there's no volume behind the move, though, that's one indicator, at least in terms of my sort of investment thesis. Personally, if there's no volume behind the move, then it kind of doesn't make sense. It can be totally irrational. It can be manipulation from some other like light wash or some other outside force, so-called melt ups and meltdowns, where there's not really enough volume to explain the change in price. But I think volume is one of the most important indicators. We're going to take a look at our Bitcoin chart to kind of validate that. We see right now there's a price up or starting to retrace back down a little bit within the new channels that we've set with the mining chopsticks. So we've got a brand new pattern right here, been crabbing sideways for a while, and now we've got these three tops that we can kind of create something of a trend line with. And I feel pretty confident that on the daily, this is the same technique that Crypto Cred uses, by the way, just daily trend lines, maybe 4-hour trend lines. But daily trend line, we can set for something of a downward movement. And the bottom chopstick, we're not really able to pinch anything just yet. We might be able to soon. We've got a few bottoms right here that we could call this, we could call this a descending wedge or a descending triangle. But, I don't feel very confident that, it is kind of a descending wedge, kind of a descending triangle. Looks like we are still kind of moving down, but that's only with this most recent pattern, right? That could be interrupted. We could see a reversal, but not a whole lot of volume on our red candle days. More volume on the green candle days, right? More volume on the uptrend. Definitely, I think without like going too deep into some new some newfangled terminology for charting that I don't feel super confident in sharing. I think it's pretty obvious that we've been manipulated for some time, and that us not dropping through the support level of largely of about 20K is a sign of manipulation. I do think that the market needs to bleed out more. I've been saying this for months. I still think it's totally true. It's one of the few times that I think a lot of different people or a lot of different sides of the crypto commentary market are saying the same thing. And it's not just that we're parroting each other, it's that the markets really truly haven't recovered yet. And we've seen CPI just destroy retail. Like, everybody's getting battered by the current economic situation. So not seeing that be reflected here in the Bitcoin chart is kind of strange. You got to agree. It's strange, at least. And I don't know that anybody has a particularly good explanation for it. I mean, yes, people are talking about oh, well, Jerome Powell and the Fed, they mentioned this interest rate hike. We got, 75 basis point rate hike and everything else. It's still not quite enough to explain what the current motion is, because we're crabbing sideways, right? And there are a lot of people pulling their coins off exchange, but we're also seeing institutional investors buy everything up. So that, to me, signals manipulation. We have fewer retail participants. So the price staying where it is, like, to kind of zoom out and look, it's not macro per se, but look at other sides of the market, to me is a better explanation than saying, well, this one rate hike or this one thing over here, over this bond market or whatever else. I don't think it's that simple. None of it is simple, but I don't think that that's the proper explanation. I think that it comes from other factors. And I think largely it comes from factors that are outside of the public view. So that's, again, part of my investment thesis is that we are trading against the bots that are being deployed by large institutions. Take that for what it's worth, because it's not financial advice, but that's why I'm setting the chopsticks away there right now. In that descending triangle, I have a lot more confidence in that than in the ascending triangle that we had, or the ascending channel that we had before right there. Because with my eyeballs, going to kind of eyeball a channel right there. It didn't seem like it had too much of a shape to it. But I think we're actually in the midst of a descending triangle right now. How far can it go? I don't know, but this top trend line is showing us a downward trend. So maybe that is our new trend line. Maybe it's very, very slow, but we could absolutely see something else come up, right? A bit like a day like this, where there's a ton of volume behind the move and we drop another leg down, punching below that 20K support. But, this is not a charting show. This is not why you come to Mind Your Biz. Let's take a look at the general markets. I'm going to adjust this live so you can see what my process is. Just a little bit over on Crypto Bubbles. Click on the tab right there. It's going to readjust some things. Now I do the drop down, hit bubble size performance and bubble content performance. And I stick with the 1 week chart. Just way easier to deal with. We could do 1 day. That's fine. You notice right there, everything responds just as we go right there. But I'm going to stick with the 1 week. I want to see roughly what's happened since last Thursday. I don't want to get too mired in just the last couple of days. And hey, I see that view count popping up. Thank you so much, Mind Your Biz community, for sharing the link while we are live. It is such a huge help. Again, I keep saying it because it's part of the game, right? We have to get eyeballs on this content while we're live for YouTube to pick it up in its algorithm. And your support is so appreciated. Thank you for helping with that. All right, so ETHW. Going down. Are we really shocked? Let's take a look at its current actual price. Below $10. I don't know if we're ever going to see it back above $10. We will, I'm sure, eventually, but like anytime soon, I don't think so. It is still in the top 100 market cap with or rank top 100 because of market cap being just over $1 billion. Man, how is this not so blatantly obvious that it's a pump and dump scheme, or that it's just going to be wash traded on different exchanges that want to get those maker taker fees? I don't know. It's very obvious, though, that there are interested parties in pumping this illegitimate proof of work fork of Ethereum. No major projects are taking it seriously. I don't think we should either. So I don't want to talk about it too much. But there it is, I think, getting its just desserts, right? Getting dumped. E-Gold up. Even BCH up. BCH, please. Maker up. XRP up. Matic up, Stellar Lumens up, Doge up, Uniswap up. So many things are up. Even Bitcoin is kind of having a little bit of a recovery. It's having a little moment, but that's because this last week we saw that trend kind of, moving. There we go, right there. Last week was interesting, right, for everything. But we're looking at a much longer time frame here on this chart. I don't think it's going to last. I think this is the third top, and I think it's a reversal to the downside. Personally, that's what I'm thinking. But I'm not some high frequency leverage trader. I'm not going to put money on that and be like, all right, let's go all in. 100x leverage. Let's go get my, Mind Your Biz viewers wrecked. Bruh, could not be me. Just won't do it. All right, but moving on. The Brains calculator will also adjust this in real time. 140 terahash at about 3,500 watts. We don't want to try to over optimize there because very few people have their rigs as optimized as they should be. 8-cent power, and then 1% pool fee. We're still looking at a $12,000 Bitcoin acquisition, which again, on this chart, puts you in the blue line of value acquisition for your Bitcoin. It's not value buying, but it's value acquisition. And you have the benefit of it being fresh coins that came straight from the network, not from an exchange. No KYC required, totally permissionless. People in, crazy nations across the globe who maybe you don't like or don't look like you or don't agree with your politics, they can do the same thing. You can do the same thing. It is an open and fair, right? Open and fair distribution of the coins. So that's a benefit. That's a feature of the Bitcoin and any proof of work system. It is not a bug. And no, we don't need to try to control it. We just need to try to shape it if we can by participating. So, and being competitive. But that's just my take. I think the United States could do a lot more. All of North America could do a lot more to be a lot more friendly towards mining, and then not trying to overregulate the crap out of this and squeeze the life and the competition out of it. But GPU profitability, sorry for not being in dark mode. There's only so much I can do before we go live here. We're gonna stick with 8-cent power because now this is what it requires for you to be profitable, basically at all. At 10-cent power, a little bit of profit. At 8-cent power, you got, again, a few more cents worth of profit, almost a nickel worth more profit, not quite a full dime in total. Team Red is taking the cake as the top most profitable cards right now. The 6800 and the 6800 XT, so not quite the top of the line, but close to the top of the line. Hey, guys, this is kind of what happens every single bear cycle, is that AMD becomes this massive efficiency juggernaut on the algorithms that it can do really well. And then the optimizations that come out of those lean times through software wind up kind of really being impressive. The Deadwood says, let's see, wonder if folks knew how to get their airdrop. I think you're referring to ETHW. And I agree. Yeah, I realize there's a delay between the time that my content goes out to you and when I can read your comments. But yeah, with ETW, I agree. A lot of people didn't know how to get their airdrop. I think I posted on Twitter how to add the RPC for ETHW into MetaMask. We could do a video about that. Say, get the airdrop and go dump it. I really shouldn't do that. That is an SEC violation to call for manipulation there. Or it could be. It could be if you considered ETW a security. But let's move out of the way here. In the other case, I don't want to be caught dead doing that. I don't want to be caught dead, calling for people to manipulate any market, really. That's not what Mind Your Biz is all about. We're here to just try to figure out how it works and decide what works best for us. Caffeine is kicking in. I'm feeling good. Do ask your questions in the comments section. I'll get to those as soon as I can. Thank you again for sharing the link. Appreciate you also calling for action there, the Deadwood. Super helpful, super awesome that you do that. Thank you so much. And moving on, we got some news from Ripple. And am I a big Ripple fan? I mean, I'm not known to be some big Ripple fan, right? This is not my jam, right? I'm not super into the Ripple ecosystem. I don't know Brad Garlinghouse. We're not buddies or anything. I don't usually call for anybody to investigate Ripple or take a closer look at Ripple from an investment standpoint. It's not something that I've been super interested in. It has been traditionally kind of labeled the banker's coin. So it's not that I'm some kind of XRP maximalist. I don't really care. I don't have a dog in that fight. But I do have a dog in the fight of SEC versus fill in the blank, because every time the SEC gains a victory in litigation, they try to use that as precedent for regulation. It is the weakest possible movement or motion for them to be able to create regulation. It is absolutely underhanded, and it's not due process. They are basically loose cannons, and guys like Gary Gensler they're dangerous. They're dangerous, right? It's okay, well, we've got to make some regulation here. So how are we going to do that? I know, sue somebody. What? What kind of sense does that make? You don't have rules for compliance, and then you sue people for not being compliant? Not a good look here in the United States. It makes us look a little bit like we don't actually know how to create common sense regulation, but we just wait for something that we want to label as bad to happen, and then we go out of our way to create a media monster that we can attack, or a media bad guy that we can attack. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. But Ripple versus SEC. A U.S. markets regulator has moved to block new third-party evidence in the XRP lawsuit. And there are two companies, TapJets. It is the Uber of private jet chartering, and then a remittance company, iRemit. They filed motions to serve as amicus curiae in the case of in the case supporting Ripple. Amicus curiae means friend of the court. Amicus curiae can submit documents known as amicus briefs on issues relevant to the case as long as the court approves the briefs in advance. The SEP opposes the motions, according to crypto attorney James K. Phelan. This is a bit of an issue here, right? They claim it's on the grounds of them containing facts outside of the discovery evidence, and which it hasn't been able to investigate. As a litigator, I feel its pain. A tenet of law is the right to cross-examine a witness, right? And these briefs do sneak new facts in. The counter-argument is that there should be some leeway because the judge can give the amici evidence less weight than normal evidence in weighing the facts, or when weighing the facts. The objection is called, "We don't want the judge to consider the truth." This is John Deaton, the attorney in support of XRP. Time Magazine and thousands of others accept XRP and other cryptos as payment and do not consider it an investment when they accept it. This is the truth. The SEC wants to hide the truth from the judge. I think that is largely true, and I think there's a little bit of an issue here with this ongoing litigation against XRP and Ripple Labs. And again, I'm not an XRP holder, but I'm not an XRP hater. Like, I have changed in that regard. I was once like, oh, well, XRP is not really decentralized. What a joke. It's just not necessary, guys. Just not necessary at all. I don't need to be that way towards Ripple, and I don't think that you need to be that way towards Ripple either. I think right now we're in a time where the support of all cryptocurrency ecosystem is so essential. It's essential that we come together and we make sure that cryptocurrency is not destroyed, that it's not buried by regulation via litigation. Tell me what you think in the chat. Tell me what you think down in the comment section. But I feel pretty strongly about that, and I would love to hear your thoughts as well. But moving on, we got Do Kwon back in the news. He was ordered to surrender his passport, his South Korean passport, within 2 weeks, or it is revoked. That's essentially the same as just saying, look, your passport is revoked. You may as well just turn yourself in. If he can't go get a fake passport, being the billionaire that he is, if he can't get a fake passport and travel under a pseudonym, a pseudonymous identity, or a fake identity, I would be shocked, frankly. Shocked, I say. However, that could be very risky for him. He's a very recognizable guy. He's very high profile. It's very hard to hide a billionaire the way some people would like to. That said, he's got the means to go fly in private charter jets all around the world, to be anywhere within 24 hours, anywhere in the world within 24 hours, and to then kind of tuck in, and he has the means to just like hang out for 2 years, 3 years, the rest of his natural life. Who knows? So the question is, how motivated is he to do that? I don't know. I don't know how bad it's going to be for him in South Korea, but clearly the authorities want this guy bad. And for as much as he was claiming that he wasn't hiding, he's obviously hiding, right? Like that's just how that is. Let's call a spade a spade. Moving on to news that is not related to litigation or related to trying to arrest people. Web3 apparently sort of appeared at Paris Fashion Week. This is huge. Now, unfortunately, I'm sad to inform you, Mind Your Biz community, I was not at Paris Fashion Week. Bummer. I know, it's the first time in years that I just didn't show up to Paris Fashion Week to go get my fix, go get my Paris fashion fix on. But Web3 did show up in my place and in our place, and apparently there were a bunch of designers who kind of wanted to show off that they're hip to the new trend. I don't think they were waiting for Ethereum to go proof of stake. I really don't. I think that they had plans to do this regardless of Ethereum's consensus, regardless of what Ethereum was choosing to do, regardless of whether or not it could be labeled as green. I'm sorry. These fashion designers don't give two craps about whether or not their designs or their manufacturing process is green. They've been some of the stuff that goes into producing what they have designed. I mean, some of it borders on human rights violations, right? With child labor in developing nations, right? Putting together the T-shirts and the logos and the designer fashions for some of these groups. So, like, I don't think they really care about going green or about being humanitarian. I think what they do care about is getting the correct involvement in Web3. And this is not me calling out any single brand or whatever. I'm just saying, like, the facts are the facts. You can't rewrite history. You can't just pretend like there haven't been serious problems with the supply chain and the manufacturing and distribution of high fashion stuff. Crypto Crack says, yo, yo, yo. Sean C is in the chat as well. Says, hope everyone's having a great Thursday. Smash the likes for my blockchain sensei and spiritual advisor. Hey, thanks, man. I really appreciate the kind words. Let's see. The Deadwood set doing shirtless push-ups on the runway. Lol. Would Wright said Fred be playing in the background? Yeah, geez, right? Here's the thing, guys. I act kind of nutty because so my dad, who's deceased, right? God rest his soul. My dad once he was at speaking at a panel at Comic-Con in the 1990s, and he was given the mic to address an audience about a topic. They were doing a retrospective on his work at DC Comics. He jumped on top of the tables that were all like lined up together. He jumped right up on top and grabbed the microphone and just walked across all the tables in front of everybody. He used it like a catwalk, and he just told me, he was like, hey Seth, you know what? People will never remember what you said. They'll never remember what you did. They will remember how you made them feel. And so he created an experience there. And, you know, those are words to live by, I think, right? Like, why not have experiences that are a lot of fun? Why not keep it fresh? Why not keep people guessing every now and then, right? Like, today's not one of those days. I'm a little tired. Actually, I'm going to keep my shirt on and not going to rip any articles of clothing off. I'm a bit exhausted. But the point remains, like, you know, words to live by. Yeah, yes. Thank you, Automatic Beats. Rest in peace, dear old dad. One of the best, one of the world's best. I'm allowed to say it, right? He was my dad. So Paris Fashion Week apparently is 64 shows, 42 presentations. Many of them demonstrated the future of fashion. Sprayed on dress, worn by Bella Hadid. Dude, what? Sprayed on dress? Very practical. Coming to a Target near you. But yeah, apparently there were some groups like Wine Santo. Victor Vine Santo? That does not seem like a real name. That seems like somebody who is like, that sounds like a German name that was somehow adjusted to fit into South America sometime in the late 1940s. I don't know. You come to your own conclusions there. But apparently, first digital collection, Meta Love. That's pretty cool, actually. So 3D holograms within a series of glass cases housed in a dark room, equipped with bright lights and a DJ. Such a setting seemed appropriate as the collection was a collaboration between Vine Santo and K-pop girl band Light Some. Hey, that's fun. It represents the girls. And how is it even possible? These are like silver-skinned like mannequins. How is it so obvious that they're a K-pop group, right? Like, something about it, the stance and the clothes or whatever. I don't know. Interesting. So Jesse M says, that was awesome. Great words, Pops. Rest in peace. Rest in peace, Pops. Thank you. Automatic Beats. It's Do Kwon. LOL. Sean C. New World Crypto says, that name sounds like the alias Do Kwon is currently using. Yeah, dude. Right? It kind of does. Anyway. Just saying. But pretty interesting. Yeah, pretty interesting that made its way into the Paris Fashion Week. Sorry about some of the lack of dark mode here, guys. We are kind of rushing through here. But speaking of rushing through, oh, did I just pull a DZ? I just pulled a DZ. Speaking of rushing through, let's talk about Russian news. The EU bans crypto payments from Russia in new sanctions package. This is probably not going to turn out the way that they think it's going to turn out. I'm just going to say that right now. I think that most of the time sanctions tend to have blowback. They tend to backfire in the least opportune ways at the least opportune times. But let's talk about that mining risk community, because you, my friend, are a critical thinker. And that's why I love your face so much. That's why I love talking to you about this stuff, because I know you're going to read between the lines with me, and we're going to discover possibly a hidden kernel of truth, or a higher truth that is hidden in the message. So let's take a look a little more closely. So the European Union's new sanctions slashed the previous cap on crypto payments from Russia to nil. Now Russia can't make any payments with crypto. It's literally impossible for Russia to use crypto now. They can never use it. That's it. We did it, guys. We solved crime. We solved crime, and we solved all of the international problems of any group that we don't like. It's over. It's over, Putin. You're defeated. Sorry. You're done. The sanctions package responds to recent referenda in Russian-occupied regions in Ukraine. Now, I don't mean to make light of what's happening. The situation there is pretty dire. But I do mean to say that sanctions don't often work out the way that they are intended. So crypto is permissionless. Bitcoin is permissionless. Even with Ethereum, with the SEC attempting to overreach and claim that everything that happens on the Ethereum network, claim that everything that happens there is the jurisdiction of the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission, and the U.S. Treasury as well. That doesn't make it so, right? It doesn't make it so. There is a little bit of, right, there's a little bit of infrastructure everywhere in the world that makes it permissionless. So if it has to skip 15 validators, 30 validators, that's only a couple of minutes, right? That's still way faster than using SWIFT, which Russia has blocked out of. It's still way faster than using any other international payment rails, which may be sanctioning Russia as well. Crypto is absolutely accessible to the Russian Federation. It's absolutely accessible to these Russian-occupied areas of Ukraine. It's absolutely accessible to the common person. And just using a simple VPN, this sanction is defeated. It's really that simple. And I feel bad for the people of Ukraine. I truly do. My heart goes out to the people of Ukraine. My heart goes out to any people of any war-torn area of the world. War is hell. And it's not something that anybody should have to live through. And that kind of conflict, right? Violent conflict is not something that anybody should have to live through, in particular the children of those areas, right? Like they will be scarred for life. They will be, there will be serious fallout there. So I'm not condoning at all what's happening in the region. But what I am saying is that these sanctions will not work. Full stop. They will not work. They will not change what's going on in Russia. So, and between Russia and Ukraine. All it will do is paint crypto as the tool, the preferred tool of illegal finance of operations over in that region. That's it. That's all this is going to do. So this is bad news. We might think, oh, finally, the EU is doing something about it. You're getting something done. You guys are amazing. But in the same way that the TSA here in the United States is security theater, this is financial security theater. This is financial sanction theater. This will not do what the EU thinks it will do. Almost every step of the way in this conflict, Russia has played their cards very, very carefully. And I say that with in the same way that you might be careful with a chess opponent and not just presume that you're going to win the game in 3 moves, right, in 5 moves. We have to wait for Russia to make a mistake. And so far, they don't appear to have made all that many mistakes in this conflict, right, especially as it comes to finance. They've done phenomenally well in propping up the value of the ruble, and they will not be stopped by sanctions like this that claim to limit their exposure to crypto. Just not going to work the way anyone thinks it will. You tell me what you think in the comments. I've got really strong opinions on it, but I would love to hear a dissenting opinion if you have one. Like, I'm open to changing my mind if you bring new information, or if you think you can work through this critically and bring something that would help me to view it differently, right? So by all means, do. But my take on it is, this is not going to work out well for the EU, and it's going to work out even worse for those of us who are interested in using cryptocurrency more practically. This news is also being covered by Be In Crypto. So their key takeaways would be that the EU Commission has announced an 8th round of sanctions, and in addition to further restricting crypto transactions, it expanded to other crypto services. Meanwhile, Russian authorities banned access to crypto exchange OKX. So it appears the feeling is mutual, right? The Russian authorities don't want to do crypto business with major exchanges that could cause problems. And then in the EU, they're claiming like, oh yeah, no crypto contact. Good luck enforcing that. I just don't see it being feasible. But let's move away from, again, crime and international politics, international political relations. Sean C. says, take that, Vladimir. Got to get a t-shirt with that, right? Like, and then like have a Bitcoin. He'll be like, have Putin like, don't mind if I do. Like, no, right? Like, I wish that we could find some way to sanction this. Rather, I wish that there were some feasible way to help decrease the capabilities of this region. But crypto ain't it. It's just not. Most people forget that cryptocurrency, that the root of that word is crypto, meaning cryptography. We have cryptographic primitives inside of Bitcoin. We have cryptographic primitives inside of every one of the major networks, and we have cryptographic like second layer solutions or bolt-on solutions such as mixers that are ZK enabled, or in some cases so well designed that we don't always know where things are going, even when it is a transparent network. So, good luck with that. Vincent Gallo says, just like tax the burden, the majority, if not all, externalities are passed on to the end customer or citizen. Yes, it's totally true. Yeah, it's totally true. All the rest is like, well, pay your fair share. All the traditional sort of rhetoric. And in particular, I'm just going to say it, guys, it tends to come from the left far more than it comes from the right, but both sides are totally guilty of it. But the typical political rhetoric, right, the discourse of like, everybody has to pay their fair share. Cool. What does that mean? Oh, what you mean is tax everybody in the middle class to the point they're no longer middle class. Like, tear everybody down. Cool. Got it. And what you don't understand is tax law as it applies to the rich, the ultra wealthy. They hold assets, not cash. You hold cash because you're poor. And yeah, anyway. Geez, gonna go on a rant here, guys. Gonna go on a rant. They hold cash flowing assets, and they don't just hold cash. They hold things that make more cash, that are like literally cash machines. Oh, why are people so like ignorant sometimes? From first downs to crypto, a former NFL player gets into digital assets. Homie by the name of Lewis Neal went from playing professional football to trading various asset classes before he found out about the corns. So here he is, Lewis Neal with Cointelegraph guy, our dude, the homie, Ezra. There he is, Ezra, talking about himself in the third person here. Heck yeah, you do it. But apparently, he said, I thought I was going to get a lot of playing time. During that year, I was a backup. So I had to develop another skill that can be life-changing for my family and myself. That's what drove me to get into the financial industry. What? Look at this guy. See this guy? Hero. Do what he did. I'm just saying, anybody who's into professional sports, anybody who's looking at any kind of athletic endeavor in their life, like, dude, you got to have a backup plan. You got to figure it out. Some of the NFL and NBA greats from the 1980s who really went on to have a great retirement, they did so by diversifying into cash-flowing businesses. They did so by becoming wealthy in traditional means, right? With real estate, with car dealerships. It's a very common one. Car dealerships. With other investments, right? And they got their portfolios right-sized, not just dealing with cash. Broke people focus just on holding a lot of cash. Cash disappears. It crumbles. It's like sand in your hands. It's just like you can't hold on to it. It just it slips through, right? Like Robert Kiyosaki says, savers are losers. You can't hold on to the value of a crumbling dollar. It's just not going to do it. So yeah, the Deadwood says not everyone is a Jordan. That is the truth. That's absolutely the truth, right? Like, even if you do get a shoe deal, who knows what your shoe deal is going to look like 10 years from now? Yeah, it's literally only Jordan that people are buying, right? Like over, gosh darn, it's been 30 years? Jordans have been, no, it's been over 30 years, right? I think we passed the 30th edition, like the 30th anniversary edition. Nobody's got that kind of staying power in their merch, right? Other than a Jordan. So like, yeah, don't plan on striking it rich anytime soon unless you make some changes. In additional news, I thought this was very interesting for us, especially as miners. I don't know how you feel about this, but what if I told you could go to Grayscale and have them do custodial mining for you, right? Cloud mining for you, and then reward you in GBTC. Would you be interested in that? I know I wouldn't, but they clearly think that somebody would. Grayscale has a Bitcoin mining-centered investment entity now. Yeah, so they're launching Grayscale Digital Infrastructure Opportunities, a private co-investment opportunity in mining hardware that powers the Bitcoin ecosystem. The company is partnering with digital asset mining and staking infrastructure firm Foundry, which will manage day-to-day operations. So essentially, yeah, I suspect they might not be saying it outright here, but I suspect what will actually happen on the ground is that they'll be working directly with this mining, with Foundry to assist them in operations and then make sure that holders of this fund can be rewarded in GBTC. I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to bring everything in-house, go fully vertically integrated, and, well, to limit the the existence of the independent Bitcoin and crypto miner. I disagree with this movement so wholeheartedly. In the same way that I disagree with even considering GBTC in your portfolio. Not investment advice, but I'm not going to hold any. I just don't foresee myself holding any. That's not why Bitcoin was invented. It wasn't invented for somebody else to hold it for me. It's just not. Or for me to ask permission from a group to, oh, can you please give me my disbursement from my Roth IRA, sir? Please, may I have some more of my Bitcoin that I bought with my money? No. Good grief. I've got nothing against Grayscale. I don't. And there are going to be some people for whom this maybe is a really good thing. And maybe you can help to change my mind on this, but I'm pretty dead set, guys. I really don't if we could just stop trying to get people to use custodial solutions, that'd be great. For real, though. All right, let's take a look at some of the network stats. We're going to launch txstreet.com. txstreet.com. What? Sean C. is dropping facts. Apparently 85. 85? I don't know why I thought it was closer to 1990. I mean, I know I saw them in grade school, and I grew up in an area that had a vast socioeconomic spread between the haves and the have-nots. So there were kids that totally literally grade school kids that were rocking Jordans, and then other grade school kids that were living 12 in a room because they were part of migrant laborer families. And dude, it was such a weird place. Such a weird place where I grew up. So I saw those. I saw that first edition Jordans, and I thought it was closer to 1990. Thanks for bringing those facts, man. I cannot believe that. Yeah. He says, back when Reagan was president, we were in the Cold War, and I was a wee lad watching the A-Team. Amazing staying power. Yeah. Yeah, the Deadwood also, doxing a little bit, saying I was 9 in 85. I'm not going to say my age at that time, but I have those vivid memories too, my friends. I do. And I know we're similar age. And, whatever. YouTube being what it is, I know that I appeal to that demographic. I'm not I don't have a whole lot of 15-year-olds this guy's great. I'm going to listen to Mind Your Biz. He's got, he's going to help me. No, that's not what the kiddos are saying. All right, txstreet.com. What do you got for us? A little bit of transfer fee. Contract fee and gas price. Let's take a look. Adjust that. Median TX fee over on Bitcoin is only 25 cents. That's a phenomenal time to use Samurai Wallet and CoinJoin. And you didn't hear from me, but do it. Not advice. Seriously though, when it's cheap, you take advantage by restructuring your portfolio. All right, transfer fee is 97 cents over on Ethereum, so fees are definitely going back up. Are we over $1 yet? No. Contract fee below $4, but not like the pennies that everybody was thinking we would have in a post EIP 1559 and a post merge world. Fees haven't gone down as predicted. The so-called triple halvening is just not working. What we need to do is get a visualizer on Flashbots and MEV, right? MEV injection. Because as predicted, right here from Mind Your Biz, in front of everybody else in the GPU mining community, fees are not going down. They're not. Huge shout out to Big Piggy from the Raptorium community, Raptorium development team, who also gave us a heads up on how that was going to be executed. We have to have him back on for an interview. I might do one better, though. I might be able to see him in person very, very soon, but we'll see. All right, I do not have portfolios up and running. I'm not going to sign in for that today. We're going to do a portfolio show, I think, next week. I will not be live on Tuesday, and I apologize for that. I'm unable to go live, so I will pre-record portfolio segment and then have that scheduled to go live on Tuesday. I also may not be able to go live at the regular time on Thursday, and I apologize for that. There are huge reasons for that, and it's because I will not be at home. I will be at I'll be at an international retreat. I'm very excited. I've been invited to speak at an international retreat in Bali, Indonesia. Yeah, I know. Weird, right? Who does that? Apparently these guys. So I'm going to be over there and doing that thing, and I cannot wait to see you in my next live stream or my next media. Guys, you really are the reason that I make this media. I love your face. Remember to stay private and mind your biz.